Hey everybody, and welcome to Let's Look at Golfing Over It with Alva Majo. Alva Majo? Faja Maja? Maybe that's a little offensive. I apologize. You are like, oh my god, NL, you've come back. You're doing a Let's Look At, and it's not on a DAE programming game. What happened? Well, what happened is, like 4 months ago, this game called Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy came out. You're probably familiar with it. It's a game where you're a dude in a cauldron. You use a hammer to climb a mountain in a physics-based puzzle platformer, dare I suggest it. Very popular. It became a phenomenon. And now we're in this weird echo of other games like this. But this isn't a clone. This isn't like an iOS how to get over it with Bennett Foddy, I've seen a lot of those on Twitter. This is like a creator endorsed, I don't know, endorsed might not be the right word, but creator permitted homage to Getting Over It. If you didn't watch us play Getting Over It, many NLSS VODs have it. But, and I thought to myself, we played it for an hour. This is Getting Over It, but with a golf ball that you can hit multiple times in the air. So it's, if you're not familiar with the game, or dare I even say it, like the micro genre at this point, essentially what this comes down to is that it's a puzzler where you encounter these, like, just awful obstacles. And I mean awful in, like, the massacre kind of way, like, I want to be the guy or something like that. And using practice and patience and tedium and just, like, eventually getting lucky and beating your head against the wall enough times, you're going to succeed here. Originally, I was like, am I going to do a Let's Look at this game? Because I can already, don't take us the wrong way, I'm not like 100% always beholden to comments. But one of the reasons I didn't play Getting Over It on my channel is because I had, an outlet for that on the NLSN anyway. But I was like, people are going to be like, oh, it's YouTube bait. Oh, hey, Scream YouTubers just going over top of it. And I'm like, I'm not a Scream YouTuber. I'm the YouTuber who, instead of pretending to be scared, pretends to be smart. I'm in that genre, okay? Or pretends to be funny at the very least. But the truth is, I'm kind of having fun with it. And I was like, I should play what I'm having fun with. So we bought this. Nick and Cobalt and I bought this. We made it approximately like 3 obstacles in. I'm already embarrassed with my performance. And it was like $4, $4.50 I think on Steam. I think it's a good time. It's got the same thing going on, by the way, that Getting Over It has. If you haven't played it, it's punctuated by like these bits of philosophy that essentially your mileage may vary as you play the game. Getting Over It was very much about, what's the nature of like futility? I mean, in the end, it was a level with a physics engine, but it kind of had a little, I'm not going to overstate it, but a little like meditative aspect to it. And it seems like so far Golfing Over It's got sort of the same thing. And dude, I almost had to play it just for the meme. Dare I suggest, the fact, please, have we hit a rough save point? No, we have not. We are going to slowly tumble and make it down here. We play so many golf games, and we played, and honestly, I quite enjoy Getting Over It, even though I've never gotten over it in the game. Oh, no. Okay, well, that's fine. I'll just be down here then. Even though in Getting Over It, I've never actually climbed the mountain, I like that game. And I find it pleasant to play for like an hour at a time, once a month on the show. I think it's an enjoyable experience. I don't know. I don't have the same kind of... It's kind of rich to suggest, I guess. Like, I'm turning this from an opportunity to talk about the game into an opportunity to aggrandize myself, but if you'll allow me, I am in the narcissism business, so I come by it honestly, okay? I don't get frustrated, despite raising my voice more than anybody I know. I don't get frustrated as easily as people seem to on YouTube for the most part. Like, if the whole video is us sitting here at this, piece of Adobe, I'm okay with that. I'll survive. I have a high tolerance for failure. You ever watch me play like a puzzle game? Or any game at all? I'm content to, take my strat to the grave with me, I have confidence it'll work. Maybe it'll take 200 tries, but it'll get me there. And I think that's why, like, games like this, let's go, I have a certain affinity for, a certain tolerance, if you will. You know what I will say? This game has some nightmarish obstacles. If you played Getting Over It, you kind of know what I'm talking about here as I make it over the dreaded Arboretum. I wish I could zoom out, but like if you were to take a wide view of this level right now, you would look and you would see like, oh, if I fall down this pit, I can't really point there, but like the bottom left of your screen, if I fall down that channel, I basically fall back down to the beginning. This is a relatively safe spot, but nothing in these games is perfectly safe. So if I fall down on my right now, we're going to be in a world of hurt. If I get on top of the oh god. If I get on top of the tennis racket, I might be okay. Now if I fall down to the left, I fall down to the start of the level. And we begin what to present is like the hardest part of the game, the animal staircase. By the way, oh no. I want to point out, you'll know in about yep, there we go, back to the start. This is about the time in the video where you're gonna know if you're the right kind of person for this game. If you're watching this and your first inclination is like, NL, you'll do a video on this, but you won't do a video on Far Cry 5, it's not your kind of game. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Different strokes for different folks. This is a little $5 homage to one of the more unique phenomenon of last year. And I think it's, rather than just being like a ripoff, I think it's transformative. I don't think it's as good, at least, again, having only played about, I guess, like 70 minutes at this point, it's hard to say. I don't think it necessarily aspires to the same heights as the original, if only because, the fact that it's a golf-based game kind of makes it seem like a little bit more of a gimmick or a novelty right off the bat, as opposed to getting over it where you're like, it's its own beast, I suppose, even though it's based on Sexy Hiking, which came out ages ago, in whatever form that was. But, it's funny, I remember, this is not even a let's look at anymore. By 30 seconds into this video, you're like, I'm not paying $4 for this. Or you're like, this is my jam, and I could totally spend a few hours golfing over it and having a decent time with it. And that's really what this video here is, to showcase that it exists. Sometimes the games do the talking themselves, and then when they do that, it's just a venue for me to talk about things, and that's okay by me as well. It's funny, if you ever find yourself insanely bored and you want to, oh no, Slinky, and you want to find yourself with something to do, read some of the positive and negative reviews for Getting Over It. That's a game that, like, when I think of 2017 in games, there's a lot of stuff I think of. I think of Battle Royales, no question about it. And I think of Getting Over It. Like, it's up there somewhere. And it's kind of like it's emblematic of the year. It's one of the more interesting games of the year anyway, even if it's not for everybody. But some of the negative reviews are so good. Like, it's rich. With just people not getting it, which is fine. But, people being like, I don't get it. He's just like a dude with a hammer. You got it. You just don't get that you get it yet. And if you're watching this and you're like, I don't get it, it's just a golf ball. You get it. There's no deeper meaning. It's like it's one of those jokes you get, but you don't find it funny. And that's okay. Okay, so I'm going to focus for a couple seconds here, and we're going to make it to a new obstacle. I'm going to tell you straight up. You've probably seen about maybe like 75% of the obstacles you realistically have a chance to see over the course of this video. No! I guess there's some more mechanical stuff I could explain, but I don't expect us to get too far past the bridge of animals, although that would be nice for me, for, the new experiences and the dopamine and serotonin hit, etc., etc. Basically, you golf by hitting the golf ball, by pulling the mouse down in a direction of your choice. And then it goes in the opposite direction proportional to the distance you pulled from the origin point. And you can hit it multiple times in the air, which is useful. What you cannot do, to the best to the best of my knowledge, is multi-hit it, just to the point where you're, like, indefinitely moving upwards. And that's, like, the first question everybody had in chat when we were playing it, is like, why don't you just go straight up? If you have, like, StarCraft 2 APM, and you're an ex-pro gamer, Champions of Fire runner-up, by all means, I don't know if, I think there's diminishing returns on every hit is what I'm trying to say. Secondarily, when the ball turns black, that means you can no longer interact with it, and it turns black when it collides with a surface. So you can't hit it after it's touched anything. So you don't get that, level of control. What's really neat, and this is kind of something you're going to have to take, let's go, on, face value here, you're going to have to take me at my word. It hits the same kind of skill progression that getting over it does. And maybe it's just that this is how skills progress in real life for almost everything. But, I spent like half an hour. Yes, hello. No. See you later. Well, that's the end of the video. No, I spent like half an hour trying to get over the staircase that you've just seen me get past like 4 times. It's harder than it looks. Like, that's the first thing I want to point out here. But then beyond that, there's a certain sense of like accomplishment you get from watching this. Hey, Kate.
Hello.
Does this look like your kind of game?
Definitely not.
Yeah, I was gonna say 100%.
I'm just watching the Korean streamer playing this.
He's playing the same thing?
Yeah, he beat it after like 8 hours.
See, I'm telling you, it's people in the comments. I already know, and I try not to like get ahead of the comments because I think it's unnecessarily cynical. People will be like, I don't want to. You get paralyzed by what like 6 people are gonna say in the comments, right? But I can already see you in there. You probably already left a couple. Oh, it's just streamer bait. It's not just streamer bait, okay? There's a certain elegance to the Sisyphusian task of trying to hit this golf ball up the mountain that appeals to me on a level. Like, Stu in Rugrats when he has that moment and the lady comes down and she goes, what are you doing? You're cooking stew at 3 in the morning. And he goes, I've lost control of my life. This is an element of control as you try. If the golf ball can do it, so can I. That's what I'm trying to say.
Isn't it just like S&M?
No, because I don't get, like, aroused. From, like, I'm upset when I fall down in this game. I like this dialogue we got going on here, though, that allows us to tease apart what it is about these games that is kind of interesting. Like, when I die in a Massacre game, I'm more annoyed than when I, like, slip in this game, I think. Although I have had some moments of, weakness here.
Do double. Why? Just do double in the midair.
Yo, because it leaves me potentially stranded over that gap in the center there. I could probably do it, but I think...
You gotta go click, click.
I know. I think it's safer to just land on the racket and then do a double or a triple over. Hey, I'm golfing here.
Oh, no.
He's blocking the screen exactly. Okay, it's a no-look triple hit. He has done it.
Oh, my God.
Okay, you can answer some questions for me. How much do you watch of the Korean stream? Well, first, oh no. Oh no! What's the name of the Korean streamer if we're going to start using, his intellectual property here? All right, I'm sorry I asked. How long is it? How much past the tree?
What?
How much past that tree is there?
I don't know. I watched it for like literally the time that you started the recording.
6 minutes?
And like he went to the tree.
So, what do you mean he went to the tree?
The tree that you got toppled over.
Like
the big pine trees.
at the top.
Yeah.
But you said he beat the game.
No, like.
Oh, you watched him beat this. When you said this, you meant this tree.
No, I was saying that he posted like 6 videos and they're, an hour and a half.
Ah, okay.
So I didn't see him beat the game. I'm saying he has beaten the game.
I see. Kind of classic misunderstanding there. Well, like, I've said all I need to say about this game, but I need to keep playing it for reasons unknown. But then also beyond that, I refuse to leave before I show off the animal friends slightly higher than this tree.
People will probably ask, why don't you just continuously hit while you're in the air without touching the object? And the answer is the ball comes down faster than he can hit it.
Correct. That's 100% true. I don't know if you have like, if you're Captain America or even the Winter Soldier, you might be able to do it fast enough. But I
think more you do it in midair, if faster the ball drops, so it becomes at one point impossible to bounce it more than X amount of time.
Yeah, it's like definitely not designed to just send you straight up. There we go. Look at that. Was a little close. I'm trying to be more methodical. You know, oh, I'm stupid, actually, though. And, okay, so I do have a couple of bones to pick.
I thought you were going to say you have a couple of boners because, like, S&M.
I'm trying to keep the video family friendly. If you don't mind, could you not use the B word like that? I said bones! Google DeepMind is everywhere. I do think, and maybe this is just...
Where's the laugh track on your stream deck?
I don't need it. I generate my own laugh track with my witticisms. And that's the funny part. People laugh at that because they go, he's not funny. I think that the early game, I'm not sure if it's because you play as like a circular object, i.e. more prone to rolling. I think the early game's a little punishing relative to getting over it. Like, in getting over it, there were some breaks on the way up. Even in the, oh, you are a jerk. Nope, there we go. That's what I mean. There's like the staircase. I get this a massive core game, okay, to some extent. The staircase is deliberately designed to roll you off. I get it. I understand. I'm hip. I'm with it. I would just like it if maybe, you know, it's a little gentler. Because it does feel a little bit more punishing than getting over it. Where there were moments in getting... Oh, no, 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 no! Please! Just, okay. There are moments in getting over it where if you make a mistake... There are moments in getting over it where if you make a mistake, you slip. Maybe even back to the start. But they're not that many. And as a result, they're more high stakes. And golfing over it, those moments are plentiful. They're fast and they're furious. Oh, I'm reversing my opinion very quickly. Okay, here we go. Did you put some backspin on it there, John Daly? I don't understand. I'm trying to give you the straight up and down, and it turns out you're giving me the straight up and down.
You're the Korean guy is known for bad at playing video games, but I think you're actually worse than him.
Wow, that's incredibly insulting, Kate. You're stoking the toxicity right now. Just remember that. On those nights when I come to bed crying and I go, Dark Angel 16 left a negative comment about my golfing play, just remember that you enabled it. Here we go. Okay, we made it to the shovel. This is a brief moment of relative safety. That's fine. See, that's what happens when you get greedy sometimes. Sometimes in life you gotta go slow in order to go fast. You can't, and you know what? Sometimes the shovel don't stick on the first attempt. Okay, that one didn't even. Sometimes you gotta get on the lip of the shovel, or even the ground next to the shovel, and then do something like that, and then you get on the other lip, and you do something along those lines, and see, it's not as easy as you would think. Okay, top of that shovel has a little arch on it in case you. Oh, okay. Never fear. Look at that. This was the tree you saw, or the tree with the tennis racket sticking out of it.
Oh, no, no!
All of life is pain, and I think that's what this game does a really good job of getting across. Is
How
that
do you play games like this?
I'm just leveling with you. It does not bother me.
That does not bother you?
I mean, like, I would prefer if I did better, but it's not like I'm not like beating myself up too much over it. You know?
Like, I just want to kill myself just watching this.
Dude, you're making like R-rated content. I'm over here censoring. I'm saying, dang. She's over here talking about murdering herself over this video game.
It's killing me.
Okay. So the thing is, that shouldn't have worked. But no. Okay. See, like I don't get frustrated at all.
What are you talking about?
The thing is, I don't know. I think it's because like I don't know. You watch me like sweep the floor sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Am I good at it?
I was, sweeping.
So the answer, what I was looking for was no. I was waiting for the dunk.
I cannot be the bad cop forever, Ryan. I gotta be good cop sometimes.
Okay.
So people will call me Savage Kate.
Well, I'm not great at sweeping. I mean, I'm pretty good, but by Kate's standards, I'm like not that good. And I've been doing it my whole life. So I'm used to the idea that, let's not call it a constant state of mediocrity. Let's call it a consistent state of self-improvement. So I know that, the odds of me golfing over it right now are relatively low. But this is so lucky. But every subsequent time I golf over it, I get a little bit better. And it's guaranteed. And in many ways, that's what makes it actually one of the easiest games in the world. Because all you have to do is play it until you're good enough to win. It's a guarantee, You control your own destiny. Let's go. The feeling of euphoria I just felt for getting up to this horse is palpable.
Is it Hatsune Miku?
That's Horsune Miku.
Horsune Miku!
I made a horrible mistake. That's fine. See, that part of the game, I'm okay with. When you fall like 4 obstacles because you missed one. When you fall 100 obstacles because you missed one, that's where I'm like, I get your design, and I disagree with it. Although I defend to the death your right to adhere to it. Okay, she's right. She's not right. You go to the top of the racket. Don't be silly. Oh, that's fine. See this, you backslide 1 obstacle, who cares, That's like, you got a C+ on your test, and then you're back. You do a little extra credit, all of a sudden, there you go. We're back at the class average, and look at that. Now we're up here ahead of the class. Valedictorian, wow, oh my God, you shouldn't have. And then, see, all of a sudden, now you're back here, and it's like, oh, that was due today? I thought it was next week. Sorry, teacher. And then she's like, that's okay. Here you go. You can submit it whenever you want. And here we are at the head of the class again.
Do you ever, oh my God.
He's a god. Wait. Don't talk for a second. This is a pivotal moment. Oh, you bitch! Not you. Look, I called the game a bitch because that's how people will feel about the game when they play it. Not because... That's language I choose not to use on a regular basis on YouTube videos, but...
Do you ever, make a fist with your toes when you're frustrated?
Yeah, probably.
That's, how I am watching this right now.
Alright, but I promised people I would get to the animal forest. And yet, here I am not yet at the animal forest, you know what I mean? Look at that. Look at that.
I think the pain, I don't get good feeling when I make 1 foot closer to the end. I get more frustrated when it just resets.
You know what's nice though is that, and I'm not saying this is my ideal kind of game, but in other games, no. In other games, it's like, oh, you want to do a backflip, drop kick, shoot a dude in the head, and then reload your ammo at the same time? Yeah, that's B. Press B, and that's your backflip, drop kick, shoot a dude in the face button. And in these kind of games, they're like, oh, you want to get up a staircase? It's impossible. Read the user manual. I think you're getting to the gem of what I like about these kinds of games, or at least what I find makes them so playable, is that it's... without getting too pretentious, it's like an inversion of the trope where you're a superhero. Instead, in these games, it's like doing almost anything is impossible. Okay, I'm going to stop the video now because the game has defeated me. And a big part of the process with games like this is accepting defeat. This is golfing over it. It's $4. You're either going to like it, maybe not love it, but you're either going to like it or you're going to hate it. I think Kate's more in the hate it camp.
I just can't play it. I want to cry.
Fun to watch, maybe, though.
No.
Not fun to watch. Okay, so you got one person, not fun to play, not fun to watch. I think it's fun to play. It's $4 on Steam. I bought it. This isn't a review copy. We played it on the show. I got an hour and a half in this game now. It's,
Why you keep playing it?
Exactly.
See, I don't get that. I desire to be inside of, bed and not look at the monitor screen ever again.
Yeah.
it actually is so painful. Not that like, oh, you were so bad. It's more like the game. Like game like this, I don't find any pleasure in it.
I don't know. I think that's interesting. I was talking about like getting over it is the same, where like a lot of people love it. They think it's like one of the best games of last year.
What?
Yeah, and then some people are like, it's just streamer bait YouTube rage trash that people shout over as they play.
I mean, I don't feel any of that. I think it's just, I thought I saw on the App Store, the iTunes store.
Yeah.
And Getting Over It is like top 10 most paid game.
Yeah.
On the iTunes or whatever, iStore or whatever. And I kind of don't understand, because I just like, am I the weird one? Or is it the people buying it because they're like, I'm better than Thomas or something?
No, I don't think it's, I don't know. I think it's just like, it's hard to explain. I've been trying to do a better job over this video of explaining why I like Getting Over It. And as
Is there like a demon inside of you that's just keep calling it?
I guess to some extent, you know, to have a healthy environment in which to experience frustration is not necessarily a bad thing.
Is it like a fighting game when you're keep losing but you finally win and it feels good, but your win ratio is like 10%?
Yeah, but it's like more meditative than that. I don't know. I don't think it's that different than a lot of other video games, to be like, in terms of what you get enjoyment out of. I think it's just like it's packaged in a way that's not nearly the same. Like, I get way more thrill, not to say it's a better game, but I get way more thrill out of beating an obstacle for the first time and getting over it than I do, like, shooting a boss in point-blank range with a shotgun in Far Cry 5. Like, different strokes for different folks, for sure, but, like, I don't know. I don't think it's that... I don't think it's that different. I think it's the presentation of, like, surmounting the goal.
I think I find more pleasure of, like, punch something than this.
And look at that, you know, it's the other. It's a casual game. Look at that. Well, we were talking already all the way up here. Please don't. Okay, so you know what? I was gonna end the video, but we get one more shot.
Oh God.
Everything is pain. No! Oh,
I'm done.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, click subscribe. Click the bell as well and be notified of the videos. Hey, click the like button if you enjoyed it. It helps out an enormous deal. Peep Golfing Over It on Steam. It's interesting, and it's cheap, and I've had a good time playing it, even when I've had a bad time playing it. For now, thanks for watching this unusual video, and I'll see you next time.